So, I thought that, by the way, I'm not getting all glammed up. I don't feel like it. I'll brush my hair. I stopped at the store on the way home from the library. And got these Beanitos. They're really good, and they're non-GMO. They're not organic, but they're non-GMO. Organic cottage cheese. My mom went food shopping, and she got another one of those lemon meringue pies. I'll definitely have to have a piece of that. I wonder if she remembered to get me my Synergy drink I asked her yet. I don't know. So, I thought that this was taken a year ago. My mom and her Bichon Poodle Angel, and me and Omar. I am severely depressed. But I do not believe in psych meds. At least not for me. You know, more power to you if they help you, but they don't help a lot of people. And I read Prozac Nation at least twice and probably 3 times many years ago, over 10 years ago. Actually, it was before I moved to LA in 01, so it was over 14, I think over 13 years ago. So I still, when I get permission, of course, I'll say you're dog friendly. I still, you know, like to stop and pet people's dogs in public. Yet I don't look at Omar and feel like overwhelming love. Why do you suppose that is? Just like anything, huh? Too close to home, too associated with severe pain, where a stranger's dog is not close to home or associated with pain, you know. I broke down at the library today, reading my Facebook, my thing. Remember, I'm involved in that Humane Society stuff and the various different organizations, and it was talking about how the fighting dogs, you know, the ones they use in the fights, they force them to hurt each other and kill each other or whatnot, and they've rescued some of them and turned them into pets, into, you know, nice, friendly, so that made me break down a little bit. I obviously haven't lost my sensitivity, lost my ability to feel, you know. I just being here around my mom, whatnot, it was just a black cloud. What can I say? Now, the first day I didn't have to have that bag, and I could bounce around listening to my Walkman, and it was a beautiful sunny day, which was not yesterday, it was the day before. Right? Yeah. I could be, I was you can't call it happiness because I'm never happy, but at least I wasn't, in pain like I was after my mom was saying all that irrational crap last night on the shelter phone, and I was like, oh fuck, and then she hung up on me because I was calling her on the irrational crap she was saying that made no sense, and then she hung up on me. She didn't want to hear it, me, pointing out that she's not making sense. And then there were witnesses to me pretty much practically curled up in a little ball, but I wasn't curled up in a little ball. I was just huddled in the corner, writing a letter to my caseworker. Oh, and crying, periodically, shaking, like having a panic attack or whatnot. Yeah, there were witnesses. Are you okay? Or anything I can do to help? No, I don't want to talk about it. No. That's what I said. So, my mother's not here right now. And just so you're wondering, in the back of my head, I'm still thinking I just want to die. Yeah. But, like I said, the only reason I don't really want to die is fear. It's not because I actually want to be here. That's the thing. And that's really sad when the only thing keeping you alive is pretty much fear of dying. And, but it's the truth. I don't want to be here. I did drink a whole pint of vodka today, but I'm not drunk. I'm not quite done with it. It's poured in one of those Bold House Farm things. I'd add some milk to it because it's too strong. Did I enjoy it? No. Why did you do it then, Laura? Because I'm fed up with everything. It's like Bon Jovi's with a bit of soul that I only discovered because my cousin had all these songs. I remember I told you about this cousin I hadn't seen in 20 years. And she happened to have her flash drive that had all her songs, and there were thousands of them, and you could have them for free instead of paying, so. And I liked some of them, and one of them, she had a whole album of Bon Jovi, and that song was on it, so I discovered that song. When you're mad at the world, and you feel like you're losing control. You can definitely relate, right? You've been something, you've been used, you've been crucified and abused, you've been sacrificed, and now you're confused. I can definitely relate to that. My friends know. When you're lost in the flood, feel like you've been kicked through the mud. Oh. Anyway, I would like, if my batteries don't run out, I would like to give those of you who have watching this but have never, ever, ever in your life experienced firsthand, it would have to be, firsthand would have to be someone you care about. Even if it was a friend and not a family member, somebody you care about who had a mental illness. Remember, there's different degrees of mental illness. Schizophrenia happens to be, from what I've heard, I believe, and it makes sense, you know, it might be the worst mental illness. I mean, it's like I told my therapist, anything that can cause you to actually harm somebody you love, you know, I mean, that's scary. And she's like, well, you know, Laura, most people don't have a mental illness. You don't have to worry about most people suddenly deciding to kill you or whatnot like your mother did. I know that. It goes much deeper than that. Just the fact that that exists. That something like that exists, you know. My mom, like I said, I got away, but had I not gotten away, I might not be here right now, or, you know, and I would have been just as traumatized if I'd had to fight back by hurting her. You know what I mean? Just that exists at all makes me not believe in God, you know. A mental illness like that can cause you to harm somebody you love. In that instance, she tried to harm me. I was just smarter. I got away. You know? I was quicker. I was smarter. I was... Anyway, I want to educate... I would like to educate people who have never dealt with this, who can't even fathom it, okay? On exactly what it's like, I'm going to give you a first-hand example, because you can apply this example to other instances, you know what I mean? You just have to use your imagination. My mom knew I was coming here today, okay? She told me that she was going to be going with that woman to see her house, the woman who I decided that I don't want to, you know, live there for a number of valid reasons. It's the town next door to my mom. And one of my online friends, one said one thing, but the other online friend said it might not be a good idea, you know, to live where your mom, where a place that's your mom's friend, you know what I mean? What if it goes awry? What if something happens, you know, and then that's your friend of your mom's, you know? So there's different things. And then that's where the dogs, you know, are old and might die soon. And I don't know. Bottom line is I just really didn't want to live that far away. But anyway, she knew I was going to go to the library and be home at night, okay? I called her from my cell phone. The only reason I had a cell phone, people, I chose to put minutes. I went online. Last time I went to the mall and got minutes. I didn't even know I could go online and buy minutes for the track phone, okay? And so I went to the mall and did it. But they sent me something, I guess, in text, or I don't know, it popped up where it said if you want you can go buy minutes online. So I got that and whatnot, but I didn't know last time. And remember, I don't always think it's all that important for me to have a cell phone. In this instance, I did. I needed to call the mover. I needed to call to get my doctor's appointment to have that mole on my ass looked at by a dermatologist, and you know what I mean. So, but what if I hadn't? I called my mom. She apparently was home all day, and she was on her way when I called to, Mom, are you home? No, I'm going over to so-and-so's house right now. I said, Mom, you knew I was coming home. What if I didn't have a key? Well, you didn't call me all day. Yeah, I shouldn't have to. You know I'm coming here, Mom. I'm giving you guys an idea, okay? I was at the library and couldn't find the fucking key after I'd hung up. My mom was already far away or whatnot, and, you know, what if I didn't have the key? I'm expecting my mom to be here. She knows I'm coming, right? What if I hadn't called her? I don't have to call her. I'm not under any obligation to call her. She knew I was coming. Doesn't even cross her mind that I might not have a key. She didn't know if I had a key or not. You get it? Now, you can apply this to other instances. Think about it. I almost thought I didn't have the key. What was I going to do? What if I had walked all the way? I happened to take the bus, but what if I had walked here? What if I'd walked the 3 miles or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Here, and not been able to get in. Now we're going to take a look at my mental illness, because you guys know what would I have done. It's raining. My mom's not coming home until like 9:30. I stayed less time at the library. I was supposed to make us dinner tonight, the cheese raviolis, organic cheese raviolis with the sauce we got last time. That's out of the question. What I'm saying is she doesn't even think. What if I didn't have the key? I couldn't find it right away. You see what I'm talking about, people? I can't think of every little thing that might happen when it comes to my mother. If you say you're going to so-and-so's during the day, you know I'm coming after the library, why would you go to this person and not make sure I had a key? You see? She doesn't even think. No, so we've already established she doesn't think, and you can apply that to all different instances. You know, you just have to use your imagination. No, not any common sense, you know. Who's to say I did have the key? I had a difficult time finding it, as I said. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm going to be locked out for hours? Are you kidding me? I have shit to do. I'm only staying this one night. What the fuck, Mom? You knew I was coming. You're supposed to be here, you know. Especially when you told, you know, it's ridiculous. But can you imagine if I didn't call her? Maybe I didn't charge. My cell phone was completely out of minutes. Completely out. It would have 1 minute left. That was it. And I put my money on. What if I didn't want to? What if I chose not to? Whatever, you know? What if I hadn't called my mom? What if I just showed up here and didn't have a key? Well, then we're going to go into my mental illness, because I would have had a breakdown. If I got here and couldn't get in, I would have had a breakdown. What would I have done? I don't know. Remember, I'm carrying all these bags, too. I'm here to do my laundry. I can't, you know, I'm carrying all that crap. Oh, and by the way, I have replaced my $80 that I paid $40 for, about Styling Company from Macy's purse, with a $6 Goodwill purse that's bigger, that zips up, and that can hold everything better, and that still hangs over my shoulder. So, in any case, I still had to bring the other purse back here, and I'm not going to carry it around, you know what I mean? So I was carrying heavier stuff today, and I stopped at the store. Not that that was heavy, but still. Can you imagine if I got here and was locked out? I would have broken down. What would I have done? There's mosquitoes. It's going to get dark. It's muggy. I would have freaked out. There's no neighbors to go to. I can't go to the woman, but the used to be the friend, right? The one my mom said you could trust to give her the note. She gives it to Marion, you know. I mean, thinks she's doing good, because she's one of those who believes, you know, I'm horrible for calling the police on my mom. It's all my fault. My mom's sick, and yada, 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 whatever, okay? Where would I have gone in this park? There is nowhere I would have gone. What would I have done if I'd been locked out? Didn't happen. I had the key. Now, in my mom's defense, I should have the key. She knows she gave me a key, but you know what? I'm in a fucking shelter. I could have lost that key. You know? I couldn't find it right away. It was in a different pocket or in the purse or the new... You know what I mean? I would have had a breakdown. That's all. I would have had a breakdown, and then I would have turned around and walked, you know, to a store, tried to find a Dunkin' Donuts to sit inside while I waited hours for my mom to come home, you know. I mean, I would have had to find a payphone to call her. It just would have been a nightmare. Remember, it would have been a nightmare when I'm supposed to be here, relaxing, doing my laundry, showering, you know, all that crap. And so I have to go back first thing tomorrow morning. I have a therapy appointment at 11 a.m. And it was rescheduled because I fucked up all this time, all the 10 days I was with my mom, all that stress. I thought my appointment this past Monday, and I was all excited to talk to her too. I was. I got to see her briefly, and I'm like, I have all bad stuff to tell you and one good thing. Let me just tell I wanted to talk to you so badly. I'm like, let me just tell you the one good thing. I don't have to carry the bag. Look, and I was all excited. She's like, oh, it's great. And we're supposed to go. I gave her samples of my poetry, but the other therapist I had read it on her own time, but this therapist doesn't want to do that. She's like, we'll read it during one of our sessions. I was like, okay. The last session I had so much to say that we didn't get to my poetry. I'm like, this time we gotta have you read my poetry, okay? She's like, okay. In fact, one poem, I gave her like a sampling of like 13 of my poems. Same poems I gave to my caseworker at the shelter. So, I just educated you guys because, I mean, only people who have never dealt with it. Not everybody's dealt with any kind of mental illness, you know, and their family member, friends. A lot of people haven't. My mom just took off, knew I was coming, didn't even bother to make sure I had a key. And she's like, well, I was home all day and you didn't call me. I told you I was going to the library. I don't want to call you. And you used to bug me at the library phone, so you could have called to make sure I had a key. I'm thinking to myself, I didn't say it, you know. But that's what you have to deal with when you're dealing with mental illness. She doesn't even think. In her mind, she wants to... Well, how come you didn't go this afternoon? Or, oh, she was busy. We're going... And you're going this late, Mom? You knew I was coming. You know, what if I didn't have a key? Well, you didn't call me to make sure you had a key. I mean, you see? I didn't call you, Mom. You knew I was coming. You told me you were going to your friend in the early afternoon or late, you know, not at night. Not when I'm coming home. Isn't that crazy? Now, I can't say I'm not unhappy that she's not here. I'm not unhappy about it. It gives me some peace. I can create this video, tell you what's going on. She did the rug, so her thing she came up with on her own, and that's a good thing, is if she's going to be gone, you know, for any period of time, even if it's just grocery shopping for a couple hours or whatever, she puts both dogs in the bathroom. That way it's bigger than a cage, and they're together, you know, so it's okay. I don't condemn her for that. It's a good idea. Actually, she came up with it on her own. It's a really good idea. But to give you another example of her illness that you know can drive even a sane person insane, and I'm not sane. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm half sane, half not sane. But in any case, she told me that when I got home, I could let the dogs out of the bathroom. Now, if they go to the bathroom on her brand new rugs, she's going to yell at me, even though she's the one who told me to let them out. That I could let them out. And it was pouring out. I can't take them outside for a walk, whatnot. You know what I mean? That's that, I suppose. But no, if you've never dealt firsthand, like I've been off and on dealing with my mother's very, very, it's a very bad illness, It's the worst one, I believe. The worst of them, worst of the bunch. If you've never dealt with any kind of mental illness in somebody you cared about, you can't even imagine it. You can't even imagine it. My cousins haven't. Their mom did, of course. Dealt with my mom's mental illness. My cousins weren't close enough to my mom to say that they've dealt with that. So they haven't. They haven't dealt with that in somebody a person they care deeply for. Oh, fuck. That's just I hate. That's why I put the blanket there, and this is not thick. I cannot stand when my hair gets caught on the bed frame. I can't stand it. Drives me absolutely wild. So, anyway, that's the kind of stuff you have to deal with. Nothing you can do about it. But my own illness would have come in full force had I not called my mom, had I showed up here. Even if I had showed up here and thought she would be here and she wasn't, and I had to go digging around for the key and it's pouring out and there's nowhere to take cover, you know what I mean? Because as it stands, it was only sprinkling at the library, and I was able to, and it was still a pain in the ass trying to find the key, looking through my old purse, my new purse, the bag, pain in the ass. Here, if it was pouring or something, and I had my new umbrella from Walmart, but still, it's hard to look through 3 purses and try to hold an umbrella, whatever, and there would be nowhere to take cover. So yeah, I know I would have freaked out when she wasn't here, and I had to go digging for my key and wouldn't know if I even had it, because I was panicking a little bit. I was like, oh fuck, I don't think I have this key. I can't find it. I just gave an education to, it's just one example, but you can apply it to all different instances and different things, Yeah, she did what she wanted to do, and she knew I was coming here, and she didn't even know if I had the key or not. Ridiculous, huh? And I can say that she didn't know if I had it because I could have lost it. I could have whatever. It's not on a chain. I happen to have it, but like I said, I'd moved it around. I didn't know where it was. And there was a point where I was like, oh fuck, I don't have the key, and my mom's going to be home for hours. Wonderful. Now what do I do? So, I guess that's that. I'm going to do laundry, and I'm going to shower, get up and shower tomorrow. I told my mom, I'm sure she's not going to listen to that either. And she's not coming home till like 9 or 9:30. I said, well, I'm going to be going to bed, Mom, so please don't bother me, I already am exhausted, and I've been drinking all day, even though, like I said, it's not like it did any major thing to me. It's just, not good for me, of course. But all this shit, and this anxiety and this fear regarding my mom and Marianne is, quote, not good for me, unquote, either, I can't take it. Can't take it. Oh. I guess that's all I had to say. I don't think I have anything else. Except I do what I want. It's like, oh, I know what I wanted to say. I'm already stigmatized by my mom's illness. In my present situation, I'm stigmatized big time being homeless, you know what I mean? I know that most people would judge me anyway, you know? So, in light of that, I do whatever I please, you know, and I don't even worry, I don't care. I do what I want. I know I get noticed. How can I not get noticed, you know? I'm a tall, voluptuous blonde. And at this moment, I happen to have a pretty damn decent body, too, you know? That I busted my ass to get. So yeah, I get noticed. I know I do. I was noticed when I was carrying the bag, and now when I don't have to carry the bag, I can move faster and I'm happier, you know, so I have more of a happy gait as opposed to a, you know, walking while carrying the damn bag, which is a pain in the ass, and then, you know, feeling really drained and everything. I get noticed. I eat my lunch at the library, outside, you know, it's beautiful out on the ledge, you know, and I enjoy myself, and I always have my music blasting in my ear. Like I said, at least when it's sunny and my music's blasting in my ears, and especially when I'm moving, because I love to exercise, you know what I mean, I love to just move. It takes me out of my troubles, you know. It's like most of the people in any homeless shelter, you know, they smoke, they have their cigarettes. Well, my cigarette is my you know, my music blasting in my ear and moving, just walking fast, you know. I love it. That's my high. I certainly enjoyed that more than I enjoyed today when it was miserable out all day and rainy, and yeah, I was drinking, but I enjoyed, you know, I didn't enjoy today the way I enjoyed 2 days ago when it was absolutely beautiful out, and I didn't have to have the bag, and I could just walk around everywhere, walk around that whole city, you know, with my music blasting in my ears, and just walk and walk and walk in the sun. I love the heat, I love the sun. The hotter the better. You know what I mean? So, I mean, to a point, hotter the better, you know what I mean. So I suppose that's important to point out, because I know I get noticed. I know that I do, because I'm weird, you know. People probably, they have to be wondering, you know, but I don't care, because the circumstances under which I'm in that shelter are not the same circumstances as a lot of people in that shelter, you know. A lot of people are in there because of drug and alcohol problems. That's not why I'm in there. I'm in there because I got fucked over by evil people. I'm in there for a lot of extenuating circumstances. You know, whenever you're homeless, though, you've got to decide in your head that you just don't give a fuck. You have to, because, and that applies to every homeless person, especially when you have to carry around the bag, or the people that drag their small suitcase, or they have a thing on their back and they're obviously homeless and people know they're homeless. And you're still a human being, and you still have the right to exist and to go into stores, or to just sit in the library, or to go eat something. You know what I mean? So you have to. Every homeless person knows that they're stigmatized by that, and they just have to say in their heads, I don't give a fuck. Okay? So I'm doing the same thing. Except you don't see a lot of homeless people, you know, that who look like me, you know, so I stand out, and that makes it kind of different, to say the least. I sometimes see men in cars looking right at me, you know. Usually I'm just oblivious. And I met 2 Japanese dogs. Yes, I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think so. I did have a brief sun yesterday, and then it got rainy again. But I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before. But no, I think it was yesterday. 2 Japanese dogs. Their owners aren't Japanese. Like, they were being walked by a dog walker, and I always want to pet. See if I could pet them. They were apparently very, very friendly towards people, but not towards other dogs, as dog walker said. And they came straight from Japan, off the boat. Some of the women, I don't know who it is. The owners. She didn't say woman or guy, but the owners brought home 1 Japanese dog after visiting Japan. Brought those home, and then they brought another one home. Me, with my inquisitive nature, I said to the dog walker, and then she made me laugh. I said, okay, if they don't get along with other dogs, how come they get along with each other? And she goes, they have no choice. Made me chuckle. It's true, they don't have a choice, but they don't like other dogs. Okay, but they're not the same breed. They're not the same. They're similar, but they're. How come they get along with each other? They have no choice. That's cute, huh? So yeah, I stand out. I stood out 2 years ago when I was there too, but 2 years ago I wasn't as filled with rage and just as I am now. You know what I mean? Now I'm just so enraged that I'm in there, and I was trying to do the organic and try to do so good, and now I can't. I can go to a health food store and I can get some, you know what I mean? But so that might come across in my gait or my attitude or my eyes, except I'm always wearing sunglasses, so you can't see my eyes, but my absolute it's so ridiculous that I'm in this place again. I just can't believe it. It's just, whereas 2 years ago it wasn't as much disbelief. Of course now it's going to be extreme disbelief, I have the money to get a place. I was living in a place. I just can't find somebody. I really don't want to have a male roommate again. The female roommates, potentially not beating down my door. So there's your updates for what they're worth. I could lay here right now and go to sleep. I think I'll have a piece of the lemon meringue pie. Go see if she bought me the synergy drink. Hope she did. The raspberry with the chia in it, synergy. That is organic, and it's very, very, very good for you. It has the probiotics and the chia. I haven't been feeling inclined, even when I stay those 10 days with my mom, I don't feel like making my shake anymore. The protein powders and all the crap are all in her fridge. They'll last forever. But I just haven't felt like making the shake. I was making it Bobby's, but you know, at Bobby's I was doing all organic, except if he brought something that wasn't organic sweet or something, I might try some, but you know. So of course I'm going to be filled with rage. And I know I stand out, so I really have to doubly say fuck it. I know I'm homeless, although now that I'm not carrying the bag, no one's going to know I'm homeless. You know, even when I was carrying the bag, they don't necessarily know that I'm homeless. But certain people who see you every day at the same time and whatnot, they're going to know you're homeless, bag or no bag. You know what I mean? So, you know, you have to just say, I don't give a fuck in your head. I don't give a fuck. Just like Fall Out Boy. I don't care what you think as long as it's about me. The best of us.